Hi, today we're talking about setting up a sound system for the church and the 5 steps you can use to do it in 30 minutes. I'm Bill Polk, and this is The Polk Effect. Okay, let's get into the third step. We know the first step is what? Know your equipment. We told you that knowing your equipment allows you to set up your kit that you'll use to set up the sound system for the church in 30 minutes. Okay? The next step, step 2, was organize your equipment. We said in step 2 that organization is the difference between chaos and efficiency. So you have to organize your equipment. Now, we're coming to the end of everything. We're on step 3. And step 3 is real short. Step 4 is going to be short. And step 5 is going to be short. So we're going to try to cover all 3 of those steps in this session. Okay? So let's start with step 3. Step 3 is, drum roll, boom. Okay? Step 3 is this. It's simple. Assign responsibilities. Look, understand? Yeah, I know. You're a champ. You can handle everything on your own. But let me tell you, you can't handle this on your own and get it done in a half an hour. Okay? You can't. If you have a team with you, all right, then what you need to do is assign responsibilities. The reason you're going to assign responsibilities is it gives everybody an opportunity to, one, develop self-confidence. Everybody on your team will develop self-confidence as you assign them responsibilities and they nail it. Then they'll know they can do it. You can even rotate responsibilities so everybody gets a chance to do everything. And when it's all said and done, everybody knows your system inside out. They come into a place, they walk in, everybody knows what they're supposed to be doing, and they get right on it. The other reason you want to assign responsibilities, and this is a good one, is it gives every section a half an hour to complete its work. What? Bill, what are you talking? Listen, check it out. You've only got 4 areas. Only 4 areas. You got the speakers. Assign somebody to the speakers. Bob and Sue, or Tom and Michael. I don't care who does it. Assign somebody to the speakers. Why? That gives them 30 minutes to mount speakers on speaker stands, to lay out your monitors, and then run the cables from the monitors and the speakers to the snake box. 30 minutes just for that alone. Assign somebody to the microphones. Section 2, to the vocal microphones. That gives them 30 minutes to put batteries in your 3 lead mics, moderator, preacher, praise team leader. It gives them 30 minutes to go ahead and connect 6 praise team mics. Just 6. That's either, if they're wireless, put batteries in them and connect the receivers to the snake box. If they're dynamic microphones, then 30 minutes to plug 6 XLR cables into 6 mics and put them on stands and run 6 XLR cables to a snake box. Easy. Very simple. I don't know what's up with my voice, but it's very simple. Okay? 30 minutes. You've assigned somebody to the musicians. 30 minutes to connect 5 drum microphones and run them to the snake box. 3 horn microphones, run them to the snake box. And 4 DI boxes, run them to the snake box and give 4 4/4 inch cables out. A half an hour. And here's the thing. When that vocal mic person is finished, because it's not going to take anywhere near, you're talking about 20 minutes right there. Okay? So when that vocal mic person is finished, that person can go and assist the guy or the girl working with the musicians. Again, each section has a half an hour. The fourth section is the console, and that's the engineer. And I'm going to tell you honestly, if your engineer cannot plug the connections from the Snakebox into the back of the console in 30 minutes, and that's all they're doing, you've got a bigger problem. So it's 30 minutes for the engineer to connect the Snakebox to the console and wait and be ready for the next step. Assign responsibilities. You have to assign responsibilities. There's something else I want to make clear. Okay? We said in the very beginning that we're working on a small system. This is going to be for a small system. An active system. We're not even using amplifiers. It's going to be an active system, okay, with active speakers that are connecting. A small system is what we said in the beginning. Okay, these types of systems are specific to non-permanent installations. So if you are using a school for your services and you go in on the weekend and set up your sound system for service, this allows you to do that in 30 minutes. Okay? If you're using a hotel, all right, to have your services, because you don't own your own building. So you're renting out a hotel weekly and you have your service in a hotel conference room or your hotel, whatever room they give you. Okay? This allows you to set that system up in 30 minutes. Okay, if you have a conference and you are bringing the system to the conference, this allows you to set up the conference system in 30 minutes. This is not for a permanent install type system. A permanent install system is going to take more than 30 minutes. Be clear about that. I don't want anybody running out buying a big system and saying, we can do it in 30 minutes. No, you cannot. Okay? It takes more than 30 minutes to connect and put together a permanent install. The good thing is, though, after it's in, you don't have to do it again. So that's one of the advantages. That's one of the advantages of having a permanent install. But if you're not blessed with your own facility, if you don't have, and you're forced to have to bring your system in, set it up, break it down, and carry it out, this is the type of systems we're talking about today. Now, mind you, we'll go into a permanent install system later on. Okay, we'll cover the things that make that work and how you can do that. We'll cover a bunch of other things, okay, moving forward, to give you a fuller understanding of everything that this thing we call sound entails. But for these sessions, these are for small systems. Small systems. Now understand, like I said in the very beginning, the foundation I gave you, the formulas I gave you, are the main foundation for any sound system. All right? It's just permanent installations, just take longer. You're running cables through ceilings, you're bringing cables through floors, you're mounting speakers at perfect locations, you're putting snake boxes in floors for easy, quick connection. There's a whole lot to do with a permanent install. And we're just not covering that in these sessions. These are for quick setups because you bring your system every weekend and you're setting it up, you're breaking it down. You've got a conference, you set it up, you break it down. You've got several conferences through the years that you're going to be responsible for sound for. You have to set them up and break them down. This is so you can do it in 30 minutes and get the service going, and there is no hindering whatsoever. All right? So step 3, assign responsibilities. All right. That's all there is to it. It's okay. So now we've got step 1, know your equipment. Step 2, organize your equipment. Step 3, assign responsibilities. Step 4. We're almost there, y'all. Step 4, test your equipment. That's step 4. Look at that. We're at testing the equipment now. Okay? Again, all sound equipment is plug and play. Okay? So it's not complicated to do. Okay? So now that you've set up everything, you've connected all your mics, you connected all your speakers, you connected all your instruments, you connected your CD player or your DI, you've connected that PCDI that we talked about in step 2, all right? You've done all of that. Now it's time to test the equipment. Here's the thing you have to understand about testing equipment. We start from the very beginning, and that's turning the system on. When you turn on a sound system, please pay very close attention to this. When you turn on a sound system, you turn the console on first. And after the console is on, then you turn on the speakers. All right? The reason you do that is because you don't want to send that popping, that loud popping, crackling sound that makes it feel like it's ripping up the diaphragms of your speakers through your system. Keep in mind, these speakers are active speakers. That means they have amplification with them. There's also a bunch of amplifiers within the console itself. We'll explain that when we start getting into console. All right? But there's a whole bunch of little amplifiers in every console. And when you turn on a system, the system goes through what it goes through. And generally, and I know we've all heard it, when your speaker is on and you turn the console on last, then you hear that huge, annoying pop that makes it sound like it's splitting your speakers in half. That happens because you didn't allow the console to cycle through, all right, and come on, relax and rest, turn all your faders down, bring all your faders down, and then turn on the speakers. And it's the reverse when you turn the system off. When you turn the system off, you turn off the speakers first. All right, it's the reverse. You turn off the speakers first, and then you power down the console. Okay? That's the order that you have to go on. When you're turning on a system, console first, then speakers. You turn it off, speakers first, then console. All right? That keeps everything quiet, and you never have to worry about that. Okay? So, the next thing you want to do is take your CD player, take your iPad, iPod, iPhone, connect it to the console with the PCDI, which you've, as the engineer, also connected to the console, and you want to start running music. You check your console to make sure you have a signal, all right? And then you bring the music up slowly to a nominal level, and then you bring up the house speakers to a nominal level, all right? And then you verify that you have sound coming out of the left speaker, sound coming out of the right. If you do, the next thing you do is you turn on the front monitors, left and right. You turn on that auxiliary that those monitors are feeding off of, all right? And you let that music play through the front monitors. Right now, we're just checking to make sure we hear things coming out of the monitors, okay? I mean, we're checking for sound. We're not checking for volume, quality of sound, all of that. All right, we're just checking to make sure there is a signal coming out. Then you do the same thing for the instrument monitors. The horns, do they hear the music? Keyboards, do they hear the music? Bass, do they hear the music? Guitar, do you hear the music? Drums, are you hearing the music coming out of the monitors? Yes? Okay, then we can bring the music down, okay? Open the channel for the microphones, and then we do the same test. All right, so we're going to turn up the mic. All right, we're going to turn up the mic. We're going to test, test, pop, 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 pop. Okay, you want to do the tests because you want to test for sibilance. You want to make sure there's clarity. The sibilance is going to help you. You want to do pop, 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 so the mic can be hit with a burst of air. So you see whether there's a popping sound coming through that mic, and if it's ridiculously loud, if it's imbalanced, and all of that. Okay, so what you're doing is kind of doing a pre-test to your EQ. Popping sounds are basically your lower frequencies. All right, the sibilance is your higher frequencies. All right, so you go tests, and you want to make sure as you bring that mic up, you want to bring it just to the point of feedback. When you see where the feedback is, then you want to bring it down. Don't let that mic ring out. You just want it to begin to ring so you know your limitation with that mic. Okay? And then once it starts to ring slightly, then you bring it down 1 or 2, 3 dBs, 4 dBs. All right? Now you have a nominal level. All right? You'll leave that there. And you will do that with each one of the microphones. Okay? And what you'll also do is as you build the microphones, leave the first one on, then go to the second. Now we're talking about Praise Team mics. When you leave the first one on, then you go to the second, leave that one on, try to get it to the same level and all of that, and you leave that. The third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth. Then you try to get them all at the same level without feedback, without any tones and all of that. You've tested it for sibilance with the tests, and for popping with pop, 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 pop. Okay? So you're going through there and you've gotten through those tests. Again, we're just testing the equipment. Okay? We're not doing a sound check. We're testing the equipment. All right? And you go through all of that, and when you can get all 6 of those mics open and all of the wireless mics open at the same time with no feedback and all of that, you got it at a nominal level, and now we move on to the musicians. Okay? We go through the horns. We do the same kind of thing with the horns that we did with the vocal. Test, test, test. Pop, pop, pop. Okay? In the microphone, so you see what's happening with those microphones. Set a nominal level. All right? You're going to set a nominal level. And then you're going to go to the keyboards, turn the keyboards on, just tap them. Have the engineer start to bring the keyboard up. Keyboard 1, tap it. Ting, 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 ting. I hear it. Okay. Keyboard 2, ting, 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 ting. I hear it at a nominal level. Okay? Because again, we're just testing the equipment. Okay? Have the bass player come up and have him hit a few things. Just thump a little bit. Are we hearing the bass? Do we hear the bass? Bring the bass up. This is not a sound check. This is a test of the equipment. Bring the bass up. Okay, okay. I hear the bass. Does everybody hear the bass? Am I hearing the bass in the house? Did I hear the mics in the house? Did I hear the keyboard in the house? Okay, good. You go to the guitar, same thing. Turn it up till I hear it, I hear it, I hear it. Okay, cool. Drums, let's go through them. Am I hearing that kick? Am I hearing that kick? Okay, okay, got the kick. Am I hearing the snare? Okay, am I hearing the hi-hat? Tink, 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 tink. Yes, got everything at a nominal level. We did not do a sound check. We tested the equipment to make sure everything was working. Okay. When all of that's said and done and everything's heard, and you hear it in the house, you hear it on the stage, everybody hears everything everywhere, then we move to the last step. And the last step is simple. Get ready. We've waited all this time. That huge break between the first one and all these. And here we are at the end. Here we go. Use your equipment. The setup is over. Now you use your equipment. You've done all of this in 30 minutes. Now you use the equipment. And now when I say use the equipment, this is at the point where you turn to your music ministry, to your MD, and you tell them, I'm ready for sound check now. Okay, we've set up the system, I'm ready for sound check, and then you give praise team and music ministry an opportunity to do their sound check, set their levels, and all of that, and we are done. Ladies and gentlemen, those are the 5 steps you can use to set up a sound system and do it in 30 minutes. Step 1, know your equipment. Step 2, organize your equipment. Step 3, assign responsibilities. Step 4, test your equipment. Step 5, use your equipment. Run your system. All right? Those are the 5 steps. And you've been watching The Polk Effect. Those are the 5 steps. Again, my name is Bill Polk, and this is The Polk Effect. Okay, now coming in the future, we've got a number of classes. First, we're going to do a class on what is sound. You've got the system set up, you've done your sound checks, you've done your balancing of your system, you're running your system, but what are you running? What is sound? How does sound react in various environments? What does sound do when it gets hot? What does sound do when it gets cold? All right? What makes up a sound wave? What is a sound wave? How did it all start? What's the technical answer? And get this, what is the biblical answer? Because there is a biblical answer. The Bible says this, in all thy getting, get an understanding. It says wisdom is the principal thing. So get wisdom. But in all you're getting, get an understanding. And that's what we want to give you, an understanding. So that when you're up on the wall, you do know this is warfare. So when you're up on the wall, working your position, you know what you're working against, and you know the methods available to you to win every battle and to defeat your enemy. All right? So I look forward to the next series of sound sessions. All right? Again, I'm Bill Polk, and you've been watching The Polk Effect.